Alright, what's going on, boys? This is Matt from EMFC here, back again today with another brand new F1 career mode video. And first off, before we start the episode, I'd like to thank you guys for the support on the first episode. It is going very well. And today, we are at the Bahrain Grand Prix. From first look at this track, I was pretty excited. A lot of long straights, and didn't look like that many complicated turns. But as I figured out through practice and qualifying, this track is a bit of a bitch to drive, to say the least. Pardon my French, but I was struggling very much with this track. Qualified dead last, was hoping for some sort of help. Nobody got a speeding penalty, nothing like that. So now we will move on into the start of the race festivities.
There's something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakhir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a Grand Prix that has thrilled us so consistently in the past. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today, with 15 corners and 2 DRS zones into turns 1 and turn 11. That should create some good passing opportunities. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Bahrain has showed us many times in the past, though, Anthony Davidson, that a good strategy will only take you so far. Beyond that, you need good racecraft and you need good consistency.
And a little bit of luck too, I'd say. This is one of those circuits where the safety car always seems to come out just at the right time to condense the field together and mix up the cars on different strategies. It's hard on brakes, it's tough on fuel, and the main overtaking opportunity is down into turn 1, where it's easy to outbrake your opponent and potentially have a bit of argy-bargy as well.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The fence starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, and Raikkonen, Grosjean, Sainz, Magnussen, and Nico Hülkenberg, Alonso, Perez, Esteban Ocon, and Leclerc, Hartley, Sirotkin, Stoffel Van Dorn, and Lance Stroll, Ericsson, and the captain. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Alright, as you see, our teammate Brendan is 5 positions ahead of us, not what we want, and we are in last place. Nobody got a speeding penalty, unfortunately. But as you can see, 5 red lights, and we're gone. A pretty shaky start here, spinning the tires, even in the 3rd gear, which was crazy. We're going up the front straightaway here, and we just throw it in there, boys, straight in. I feel like this is the easiest way for us to make positions in our platform of car, not having the most speed and never qualifying that great. We're just gonna send it up the inside and hope for the best. We're pulling up on Ocon here. He was blocking the inside here into turn 4, so we could try to make it work on the outside, keeping it, sticking it. And yeah, the sector 2 in this track, which is turns 5 to 13, as we run into Ocon as he brake checks us, were pretty difficult for me. This whole section was just not the greatest. I was not consistent at all as we get Ocon back there on the inside after he brake checked us. But yeah, 9 and 10, these corners right here, really hard braking zone and very difficult right into DRS zone, which is where I was spinning the tires mostly. But we move on through, and we're basically holding up the field behind us as everyone gets away. I don't know what was going on here as we understeer into turn 11. That corner is very interesting. You don't get any penalties for going on the outside, so I was running it really wide, even though you're not supposed to here as we cut the inside. I was just all over the place. I was not confident in the car, so I was trying to cheat my way in every corner that I could. Leclerc is pulling up on our rear right now with the draft. We're cutting another corner, and we slide it out a bit there. But yeah, for some reason the rhythm on this track is just very weird for me. I just couldn't get it. Maybe it was because it was the first race of the day, but the next episode that you're going to see in the Chinese Grand Prix was very much improved, and I'm very excited to bring you guys that episode. But you'll have to wait through this one and enjoy what we have at the Bahrain Grand Prix. But yeah, we're just completing the first couple laps here as we skip ahead into the third lap. DRS is enabled. We got Charles Leclerc and somebody else behind him. I did not see who. I left the door open for somebody to dive inside, but nobody decided to. Leclerc and also his teammate were running a really weird pit strategy. I think they were doing a two-stop, I'm not sure, but as you can see in the top left, they're using softs while we're all on super softs. Leclerc goes on the inside. We go on the inside, and I don't know who that was. Van Dorn decided to go on our inside and try to make it go 3 wide in there. We wreck, unfortunately, but I'd probably take a little bit of that as my fault, but I don't know why he was diving on our inside when we were making a move. Anyways, we are trying to work our way away from the flashback, so I let this one pan out. We weren't really doing that great anyways, and I didn't feel like we were going to get a good position, so I thought we'd let them go and then see if we could chase him down. Locking up the front wheel here, getting on the inside of Ericsson into the DRS zone. I misshift a little bit because it was very hard not to spin the tires once you enable DRS in this zone. So here we go into turn 11, which I was getting the gearing wrong in this corner, I think, mostly, but we go on the inside of Ericsson there and make a good pass. Try to make it stick on the outside, get tight going into turn 13 here, and we're managed to hold off Ericsson on the soft tires, which is, we should be doing that pretty easily, but anyways, we're going down the back straightaway here trying to catch Stroll. And for this race, I was running a one-stop. I tried to adjust it to give us the best time, so we stretched out the super soft laps, and we end up going in, I think, around lap 6 or 7. But as we're going down the straightaway here, Ericsson comes up on our inside and basically forces us up onto the rumble strip, which I thought was pretty lame. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but we get loose here, and we just basically lose the pack, and then we skip forward again to lap 5, and some of the leaders have pit. I see that, and lock it up going into turn 1, trying to catch up and get a draft onto Ricardo. But I think they all pit pretty quickly to get off of their tires and switch to the softs. We have Vettel here behind us, and I'm trying to hold him off as best I can, but as we go into turn 11, we can see that we're not going to be able to, even though this was probably one of my best turn 11 to turn 12s here. But like I said here, we're getting wide coming out of turn 12 into turn 13, and Vettel just goes by us. We kind of get a good run here. We go on the inside of him, try to keep him behind us, but since Vettel is on a newer tire, he basically just blows by us in turn 14 on the outside and leaves us in the dust as we get squirrely. I think my pit strategy on this was not the greatest. As you can see, our teammate Brendan Hartley is now in the pits, and I'm trying my best to stay with Vettel. I don't know why, but as you can see, people are merging in right now, and Hulkenberg basically just Hulk smashes us.
I'm just a huge fan of the sport.
Now after this basically this whole lap, we were gonna pit this lap anyway, so I left the damage to be repaired in the pits. Again, try not to use as many flashbacks this race, but I probably should have there. And his teammate Carlos Sainz goes on the inside there, and basically I'm overdriving the car. I'm pissed off. I'm trying to get to Hulkenberg and get him back, but it is to no avail as we let basically everyone that was in the pits, as we hit Magnussen there a little bit. I'm just diving and trying to get my revenge back, but we move on. Coming out of the pits on lap 7, we got a caution going into turn 4 and 5, and look who it is. Lewis Hamilton has gone off track there on the left. Pretty sure he blew his engine, but we resume racing and continue on. And basically from here to the end of the race, it's a battle between me and Leclerc for dead last. His teammate Ericsson was in front of us. We were trying to chase him for a couple of laps. Leclerc pit a lap after him. And as you can see, we have a battle. When he came out of the pits, we passed him, got 17th. He passes us for 17th. We're back in 18th. We were trying to save at this point as well, which was kind of a downside for us trying to catch up. But here we're going to 4 and 5, trying to catch up. The computers were really slow in the chicane 6 and 7. As you can see, we get a little bit angry there on the wheel cam, but Leclerc basically brake checked us and was not good. So here I slow down to try to get a good run coming out of 4 and 5 after the flashback, but I lose the back end a bit. Still knowing that they're going to brake check, or he's going to brake check here. So we pull up as close as possible coming into turn 8, and we just send it up the inside and use him up, push him out. We're done with that shit, and we continue on with our race.
Yeah, well, the son of a bitch just slammed into me!
No, he didn't slam into you, he didn't bump you, he didn't nudge you, he rubbed you. And rubbing, son, is racing.
Yes, indeed, rubbing is racing, even in F1. We come to the checkered flag here in 17th, not in last, thank God. Vettel and Hamilton also DNF'd, and Leclerc finished behind us after our incident, but you will see that all right now in the post-race standings.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a good result for Kimi Räikkönen, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Probably Stoffel van Dorn. You know, strong pace, good work with the strategy, just a very complete drive, I think.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you can join us at the next race to see just who will come out on top.
Now, after this race, the team was not too pleased with us. Brendan came in 11th, 1 spot off of points, and we came in basically second last. Anyways, I'm glad to have this episode out of the way. It wasn't the greatest. Our team reputation plummeted, but it is only up from here. Next episode is the Chinese Grand Prix, and I promise you, it was a great race. So, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this one. I've been Matt from EMFC. Hope to see you guys in the next episode. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.